describe it. So,
Well, darling,
Well,
would you say the evening has been profitable?
yes, I suppose so.
I must say it was extremely funny at home.
Yes, it certainly was.
What's the matter?
The matter?
Yes, you seem off somehow. Do you feel quite well?
Perfectly. I think I'll have a drink. Do you want one?
No, thank you, dear.
It's rather chilly in this room.
Come over by the fire.
I don't think I'll make any notes tonight. I'll start fresh in the morning.
Charles!
My God!
That was very clumsy of you, Charles, darling.
Then it's true, it was you!
Of course it was.
Charles, darling Charles, what are you talking about?
Are you a ghost?
I suppose I must be. It's all very confusing.
Charles, what are you looking over there for? Look at me. What's happened?
Don't you see?
See what?
Elvira?
Elvira?
Yes. Elvira, this is Ruth. Ruth, this is Elvira.
Come sit down, Charles.
Do you mean to say you can't see her?
Listen, dear, you just come sit quietly by the fire and I'll make you another drink. Don't worry about the mess on the carpet. Edith can clean that up in the morning.
But you must be able to see her. She's standing right over there. Look! Right in front of you!
Are you mad? What happened to you?
You can't see her?
Listen, dear, if this is a joke, I think it's gone quite far enough. Sit down, for God's sake, and don't be idiotic.
What am I to do? What the hell am I to do?
The least you could do is to act a bit more pleased to see me. After all, you conjured me up.
I did no such thing. I did nothing of the sort.
Nonsense, of course you did. That awful child with the cold came and told me you wanted to see me. Urgently.
It's all a mistake. A horrible mistake.
Stop talking like that, Charles. As I said before, the joke's gone far enough.
I've gone mad. That's what it is. I've just gone raving mad. Charles!
Here, let me get you a drink.
This is appalling.
Relax.
How can I relax? I shall never be able to relax again as long as I live.
Drink some brandy.
There. Now, are you satisfied?
Now sit down.
Why are you so anxious for me to sit down? What good will that do?
I want you to relax. You can't relax standing up.
African natives can. They can stand on one leg for hours.
Well, I don't an African native.
You don't happen to be a what?
An African native. It doesn't matter, Ruth. Really, it doesn't matter. We'll say no more about it. See, I've sat down.
Would you like some more brandy?
Yes, please.
That'd be very unwise. You always have a weak head.
I could drink you under the table.
There's no need to be aggressive, Charles. I'm doing my best to help you.
I'm sorry.
Here, drink this and then we'll go to bed.
Get rid of her, Charles. Then we can talk in peace.
That is a thoroughly immoral suggestion. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
What is there a moral in that?
I wasn't talking to you.
Who are you talking to then?
Elvira, of course.
To hell with Elvira!
There now, she's getting cross.
Well, I don't blame her.
What don't you blame her for?
Oh, God.
Now, see here, Charles. I gather you've got some sort of plan behind all of this. I'm not quite a fool. I suspected you when we were doing that idiotic seance.
Don't be silly. What plan Elvira is here. She's standing just a few yards away from you.
Yes, dear, I see her distinctly. Under the piano with the horse.
But Ruth...
I will not stand here arguing any longer.
Hooray!
Shut up!
How dare you speak to me like that?
Listen, Ruth, please listen.
I will not listen to this nonsense any longer. I am going to bed. I'll leave you to turn out the lights. I shan't be asleep. I'm too upset, so you can come in and say goodnight to me if you feel like it.
That's big of her, I must say.
Be quiet. You're behaving like a gutter snipe.
That is all I have to say. Good night, Charles.
Ruth!
I must say, that has been one of the most enjoyable half hours I have ever spent.
Oh, Elvira, how could you?
Poor Ruth.
This is obviously a hallucination, isn't it?
I'm afraid I don't know the technical term for it.
What am I to do?
What Ruth suggested. Relax.
Where have you come from?
Do you know, it's very peculiar, but I seem to have forgotten.
Well, are you here to stay indefinitely?
I don't know that either.
Oh, God!
Why? Would you hate it so much if I did?
Well, you must admit it would be embarrassing.
I don't see how so. It's all a question of adjusting yourself. Anyhow, I think it's horrid of you to be so unwelcoming and disagreeable.
Now look here, Elvira.
I do. I think you're mean.
Try to see my point. Is it? Try to see my point. I've been married to Ruth for 5 years, and you've been dead for 7.
Not dead, Charles. Passed over. It's considered vulgar to say dead where I come from.
Passed over then.
Anyhow, now that I'm here, the least you can do is to make a pretense of being amiable about it.
Of course, I'm delighted in one way.
I don't think you love me anymore.
I shall always love the memory of you.
Don't think me unreasonable, but I really am a little hurt. Here I came, and at great inconvenience, and you've been nothing but thoroughly churlish ever since I arrived.
Believe me, Elvira, I most emphatically did not send for you. There's been some mistake.
Well, somebody did, and that child said it was you. I remember. I was playing backgammon with a sweet old Oriental gentleman. Genghis Khan, I think his name was. And I just threw double sixes. And then that child paged me, and the next thing I knew, I was in this room. Perhaps that snotty-nosed brat was your subconscious.
Well, we must find out if you are to stay or not, and then we can make arrangements accordingly.
I don't see how I can.
Try to think. Isn't there anyone that you know that you can get in touch with over there, on the other side or whatever it's called, who could advise you?
I can't seem to think. It feels so far away, as if I dreamed it.
Well, you must know somebody else besides Genghis Khan.
Oh, Charles!
What is it?
I want to cry, but I don't think I'm able to.
What do you want to cry for?
It's seeing you again, and you being so irascible like you always used to be.
I don't mean to be irascible, Elvira.
Darling, I don't mind it, really, I never did.
Is it cold being a ghost?
No, I don't think so.
What happens if I touch you?
I doubt if you can. Do you want to?
Oh,
What are you, darling?
I really do feel strange seeing you again.
That's better.
What's better?
Your voice was kinder.
Was I ever unkind to you when you were alive?
Often?
Oh, how can you? I'm sure that's an exaggeration.
Nonsense! Remember that time we went to Cornwall and stayed at that awful hotel? You hit me with a billiard cue!
Only very, very gently.
I love you very much.
I loved you too. No, I can't touch you. Isn't that horrible?
Perhaps it's as well, since I'm going to stay for any length of time.
I feel strangely peaceful. I suppose I shall wake up eventually.
Lean your head back.
Like that?
Can you feel anything?
Only a slight breeze through my hair.
That's better than nothing.
really am out of my mind. They'll put me in an asylum.
Don't worry about that now. Just relax.
Poor Ruth.
To hell with Ruth.
Another good show. All right. Ethan, very nice staging. I thought, for the most part, things were flowing very nicely. It seemed like I really liked the choices when it came to having Elvira standing close to Ruth when you'd be insulting, so that she would think it was directly towards her. And then at the other times when she's distracted pouring the drink, or whatever it might be, and you said, again, Charles is speaking to Elvira, but Ruth is not aware that it wasn't directed to her. No, that worked very nicely. And that's hard. You know, find those right moments to make it work. And then the other, I only felt that maybe for a moment it was a little stagnant when you were standing here between Charles before she sat down, or he sat down. But other than that, it wasn't something that stopped me from enjoying the show or believing that they were who they were. And that was the other thing, is I thought definitely Ruth and Elvira were very consistent with their characters. I appreciated the posture, and when Elvira was getting really, really frustrated, she started losing somewhat of her composure, which was really good. And then, of course, when she started to cross her arms, like, well, I think I've had just about enough of this. Very nice. Where, on the other hand, Elvira